We have seen how the control signal field in the micro instruction indicate what is the control signal or what are the set of control signals to be generated while that micro instruction or that control word is being loaded to the micro instruction register. But to generate these control signals in proper sequence or at proper step, the microprogram counter should properly keep track of the micro instructions to be executed. But different instructions may follow a different sequence of micro instructions. So how do the microprogram counter knows what is the address of the next micro instruction to be executed? An address generator circuit is used which will generate the next address and update it to the microprogram counter. Now the microprogram counter will be pointing to the next micro instruction to be executed. That micro instruction will be fetched from the control memory to the micro instruction register, and accordingly the signals are generated. The address generator designed this next address based on some input. So how this decision is made and what are the inputs to the address generator? We know that the system usually follows an instruction fetch decode execute cycle from the boot up till shutdown. So it's possible to initiate the microprogram counter with some initial address. This is usually the starting address of some instruction fetch routine. Suppose our instruction fetch routine is at the location 0001 and 02 of the control memory, just assume. Then the microprogram counter can be initiated with the starting address of this fetch routine. Then on to access the micro instructions in sequence or to access the successive memory location, the microprogram counter needs to be just incremented. So the one option for next address is the next micro instruction in sequence, but it's not always necessary that the next micro instruction to be executed will be at the next memory location. For example, suppose our instruction fetch routine is over. It is identified that that instruction requires the calculation of the effective address of the operand, and assume the routine for effective address calculation is at some other location 200. So from this last micro instruction, we need a branch or jump to this micro routine. So incrementing the micro program counter always never work. Hence, within the micro instruction, in addition to the control signal field, we keep one field called address field, which indicates the address of the next micro instruction to be executed in case some branch or jump is required. And this branch or jump may be unconditional or may be based on some conditions to indicate the condition at which this address to be used. We use one field called condition field. For example, the branch condition may be on the zero flag or on the sign flag or on the indirect bit, or the branch may be unconditional. Now this condition code flag will act as the input to a multiplexer whose selection lines are connected to the condition field of the control word within the microinstruction register. Here we have 4 inputs, hence the number of bits in the condition field is 2. If the condition field bits are 00, then the 0 flag should be checked. If the condition bits are 01, then the sign flag should be checked. If it is 10, indirect bit to be checked. If it is 11, then the branch or jump is unconditional. So just assume we have only this much conditions to be checked. So how does it work? If we have to make a branch based on the 0 flag, our condition bits will be 00. Hence, the 0 flag will be selected as input to the address generator. If the 0 flag is set, then this address within the control word will be selected as the next address. If the 0 flag is not set, then the next micro instruction will be the micro instruction in sequence. For that, the microprogram counter can just be incremented. Consider this case as an abstract simple example. Our instruction fetch routine is at location 0001 and 02. Once the fetch routine is over, sometimes the instruction may require the calculation of the effective address of the operand. Otherwise, it can directly move to the execute routine. And if the effective address calculation of the operand is required, after that calculation, it should move to the execute routine. And if the effective address calculation of the operand is required, it will be indicated by the indirect bit of the instruction, which shows indirect addressing mode. So once the instruction fetch routine is over, check the indirect bit flag, hence the condition code bits are 10 to select the indirect bit input to the multiplexer. In case the indirect bit is set, then branch to the address 200 for the effective address calculation. Else, if the indirect bit is not set, then the next micro instruction can be the micro instruction in sequence. The microprogram counter can just be incremented. So in general, the address generator needs input from the condition code flag and also from the control word which is currently being executed. The condition code flag input to the address generator will be decided by the condition field residing in the control word, and based on the condition, the address can be either this address from the control word field or the address can be the address in sequence. So the inputs are the condition code flag input and also the input from the control word. In our example, just assume that if the effective address calculation of the operands is not required, then the next micro instruction to be executed is at the next address 03. And if the effective address calculation of the operands is required and once it is completed, then make an unconditional branch to the same address. For unconditional branch, the bits condition bits are set to 11 and the address is 03. And just assume that this address 03 contains a common execute routine for every instruction type. We know that different instructions follow a different execute routine which is based on the instruction type or based on the opcode of the decoded instruction. So from here, a special branching has to be made to the appropriate micro routine, to the appropriate execute routine of the instruction based on the opcode of the instruction. Hence, the address generator also needs input from the instruction present in the instruction register, so that the address of some routines can be determined based on the opcode of the decoded instruction within the instruction register. If it is an add opcode, then this add routine has to be executed, or sometimes an AND routine may have to be executed which may be at some other location. So the decision of the address based on the opcode is made using some methods, for example mapping. Mapping is one method used in which the opcode is mapped to the control memory address. So in general, the next address may be the address, maybe some external address or some initial address, or it can be based on the input from the condition code flags or from the control word or from the opcode which is in the instruction register. Based on all these input, the next address will be decided and will be updated to the microprogram counter. Based on the address, that micro instruction will be loaded to the micro instruction register and the signals will be generated based on the code residing in the micro operation field. And in general, the options for next address may be the next micro instruction in sequence or the address in the currently executing control word which is decided by this condition, or an address based on the opcode of the decoded instruction in the instruction register, or can be some initial or external address.